What time is it?
It's time for art!
Kindergarten, first grade. Today's an easy one. What I want you to do today, finish your self-portrait. We've been looking at the Mona Lisa, and if you study her, kids say, hey, we can't see her legs and her feet. Does that mean she doesn't have legs and feet? Of course not. But the way the artist zoomed in, the way Leonardo Da Vinci cropped her, you can't see her legs. So what we are going to do is finish our self-portrait so that it will look very similar to the Mona Lisa. But first, I got a book I need to read to you. Who Stole Mona Lisa? Written by Ruthie Knapp and illustrated by Jill McElmurray. Who Stole Mona Lisa? Here they come. People with up hair, people with down hair, people with skirts, people with shirts, people with hats and spats, boots and suits. They are coming to stare at me, Mona Lisa. Shh, let's listen to the guide. This is Mona Lisa, the mighty Mona Lisa, the greatest painting in the world. She is famous for her mysterious smile. Is it a growing smile or a knowing smile? A shy smile or a sly smile? Now look at her eyes. They follow you wherever you go. Everyone moves. Some walk to the left, some walk to the right, some stoop low, some stand on their tippy toes. Children turn sideways and sometimes upside down to peek through their legs. Is that Mona Lisa? They ask. Is she real? Tall people poke their noses up close. I can smell their breath. Garlic, coffee, cigars. They all stare at me. Shh, here's the guide again. Mona Lisa's name was Lisa Girardini. She was Italian. She married when she was 16. Mona means my lady in Italian. Mona Lisa got tired of posing for her portrait. When she squirmed, the painter told her to be still. If she dozed, he tickled her nose with his brush. If she scratched, he asked if she had ants in her pants. When Mona was moody, he hired musicians and clowns to amuse her. Leonardo da Vinci is the artist who painted me. It took him 4 years. Leonardo loved me. He looked at me when he ate pasta. He would not travel without me. He said I was his masterpiece. I was famous because Leonardo was famous. Fans jammed his studio to watch him paint. Sometimes he set off colored smoke bombs to please them. Ooh, ah, amazing, they said. Leonardo was a sculptor, an architect, an inventor, and an engineer. He drew designs of helicopters, parachutes, tanks, and a robot. People heard he wrote backwards. How clever is that? People heard he loved animals. They had seen him buy animals in cages at the market, only to set them free. And people saw that he was an amazing painter. Soon I was the most famous painting in Europe. I was famous for being famous. A French king named Francois I invited Leonardo to paint in his court, and the two men became friends. After Leonardo died, I was given to King Francois, who admired me as he feasted on frog legs and wine. I stayed in France for many years with many different kings. 2 named Francois, 3 named Henri, 1 Charles, and 4 Louises. Finally, a French emperor named Napoleon got me. Napoleon hung me in his bedroom. He looked at me as he dusted the diamonds in his crown. One day, he decided to give me to the Louvre Museum in Paris, where I could be seen by the world. At the museum, I became world famous. Day after day, crowds came to see me. Day after day, a man with a mustache came to look at me too. One hot night in August, I heard footsteps. The man with the mustache came alone in the dark. He measured me. 53 centimeters wide by 76 centimeters tall. Then he tiptoed away. Early the next morning, I heard footsteps again. The man with the mustache was back. This time he was wearing a white workman's smock. He looked behind him, then he raised both hands and ripped me off the wall. Ouch! First I lurched sideways, then upside down. I felt sick. My veil slid over one eye. A honey cake fell from my lap. He hit me under his white smock. I could feel his heartbeat, da-dump, da-dump. He tiptoed to a dark place and pried me from my frame. His shoes squeaked as he sneaked out of the museum. The next day, the museum went wild. Where was the Mona Lisa? Where was the most famous painting in the world? Did someone hide her? They looked for me in closets and corners. They looked for me in dustbins and vents. They found a fingerprint and my frame in a stairwell. Aha! She must be in the photo studio. But I was not. Was I in the baker's oven down the road? Too hot. In the hippo's hay at the zoo? Too wild. In the cheese shop? Too smelly. Detectives searched boats and beaches, freight trains and farms. The museum posted a reward for my return. They asked fortune tellers to track me down. Still, people came to see no Mona. Millions of people. People from near and people from far. People from Giza, people from Pisa. People from New York and Peking. Some of them cried. One fainted with grief. All that was left of me was a space on the wall. People still came. They came to see the hooks where I hung. They wanted to see where I wasn't. They wrote me poems and songs. They sent me love letters. The man with the mustache loved me too. He said I reminded him of someone special. He looked at me at every meal over apples, eggs, and trout, cake and prunes and piglet snout. He looked at me on rainy days, on snowy days, and during summer squalls. He looked at me when he bathed. He looked at me while he shaved. He looked at me for 2 years. I was tired of the man in the mustache. I missed my wall. I missed people staring. I missed the children, sideways and upside down. One day, the man with the mustache heard the police were searching for me nearby. He grabbed me and stuck me under the stove. I could hardly breathe. I thought of my kings and their beautiful palaces. I thought of the museum and my place on its wall. I remembered when I was the great Mona Lisa. Now, instead of crowds, I saw cobwebs. Instead of admirers, ants. The man with the mustache decided it was not safe to keep me in Paris. He wrapped me in red cloth, stuffed me in a trunk, and took me back to Italy by train. The train screeched around bends and roared through tunnels. Heavy things bumped my trunk as the man with the mustache growled and cursed. When we arrived in Italy, he tried to sell me, but people recognized me and called the police. The man with the mustache was sent to jail, and I was booked on an express train back to Paris, where I was returned to my wall at the museum. The museum went wild. Everyone was talking. Mona Lisa is back. People brought me flowers and cried with joy. They lit fireworks. Did I look the same? Was I hurt? People lined the streets to see me. 100,000 people visited me on my first day back. Suddenly I was fashionable. Women tried to smile like me and wore makeup to color their skin like mine. Now you know why I am smiling. I am happy to see you. I am happy to be back where I belong. I am happy to be me, Mona Lisa. But mine is a knowing smile. It has stored secrets for more than 500 years. The secrets of artists and kings, a hot night in August, and a mustache. It is a smile that knows many secrets, but now so do you. Shh, listen to the guide. She's still talking about me. Okay, I'm so glad they got the Mona Lisa back. Now we are going to finish our picture. This is the fourth and last week working on this.
The first week we painted a pattern. That pattern became the first letter of our name. The second week we cut out that letter and glued it onto a shirt. The third week we painted a self-portrait, and today we are going to finish that self-portrait. I have glued a neck and 2 arms to the back of your shirt. So what I'm going to do is pass out a piece of paper that is the same color as your hand. I want you to fold it in half and trace your hand. You're only going to trace it once. You're going to keep your paper folded and cut out that hand. And if you've kept it folded the entire time, when you open it up, you will have 2 hands. You've cut 1 hand and gotten 2 out of it because your paper was folded. How cool is that? You need to cut out your self-portrait painting and glue that on the neck. You're going to glue those on the wrist part of your self-portrait. And if you've done that, you're done. Just because we didn't make legs and feet does not mean that you don't have legs and feet, just like the Mona Lisa. These look great. I can't wait to hang them up, and then I can't wait to pass them back out to you. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, welcome back for Pro Tips. I've drawn the mural in blue line pencil. I added details with a regular graphite pencil. I added more details with the ink pen when I traced it. I scanned it in the computer and colored it, and I have put it all together in a proposal. That was for the first 9 weeks. Second 9 weeks, I hope, fingers crossed, that we can go further with this. I'm going to type an email and send the proposal as an attachment and see what we get. Whenever I type an email or pitch something to somebody, I try to be as thorough as I can be. I type it in a Word document so I can edit it easier, cut and paste my strongest arguments in the appropriate places, get all my ideas down, make sure that whoever I'm working with or want to work with knows what I'm planning so that they don't have any questions, or any questions that they do have, I definitely have the answer for. So I try to be very thorough every time I pitch a project. And send. So my pro tip to you is, if you're ever pitching a project to somebody, make sure that you are thorough. Oh, let's see what they said. Bonus points! Every year and every other year, I read a lot of books about Mona Lisa being stolen. There is Steal Back the Mona Lisa. There's the Mona Lisa Caper. And this year I read Who Stole Mona Lisa? What the story did not mention today was what year the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in Paris. Please tell me what year that was. Bye.